Hi everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome. Welcome. Just give me a sense that we are live. Good afternoon, guys. Good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, good afternoon. Give me a sense that we are kind of live. Yeah. Great. All right. So let's get started. Let's get started. I guess we are live, so it looks good to me. The screen looks good to me. Okay. So let's continue our discussion. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Darshit. Good afternoon, Kishan. Yeah. I hope meanwhile others also could kind of join in. Is my screen good? Is the audio good? Audio good? You're able to listen to me? Are you able to hear me? Yeah, can you view? Audio good? Can somebody confirm? Is the audio good? Yeah, yeah. Great. All right. Fine then. So here we go. So let's get started. Meanwhile, kind of others kind of join in there. So we'll get started. So we'll continue our discussion on games and tournaments. So we kind of looked at the previous two lectures. We looked at how to deal with the round robin format, and today we will look at how to deal with the knockout format, right? So knockout format, there are certain concepts, one which comes with buys, the other one which does not come with buys. So we will first start with a simple one which does not include the buys, and because more often than not, as I noticed in the exam, it is often one without buys. But yes, sometimes there were instances where there were some buys involved as well. Okay, so let's kind of take a look at this. Let's take a look at this. Okay. Yeah, briefly, let me introduce myself before we start. So I am Belvi Srinivas. Most of you know me. I've been mentoring, I've been training students since 2007. That's about last 14 years or so. And yes, over a period of time, I did develop expertise in training students in the areas of QA, DI, and DLR. That's a little bit about me. And if you have short counseling requirements or so, or you want to just ask very short questions, you can always interface on this particular Telegram group. And from here, like I will kind of guide you if it is a small guidance, a short one, short discussion. Certainly, I can guide you out there. Okay. And here comes the quick announcement. So Unacademy offers two kinds of courses. One is a plus, the other one is a star. Of course, star is nothing but the iconic subscription, we call it. The plus gives you the structured courses. It gives access to structured courses at various levels. There are educators who launch level one, level two, level three, all kinds of courses, different courses, and every course will come with an introduction, small video saying what is the outcome of this particular course and what is going to be dealt in that course. Based on that, you can always pick and choose the course which will make sense to you. You will find quite a few courses running on the platform. You can always pick which makes more sense to you. So it gives that access to the structured courses. It could be the content, it can be study material, right? And it will also give you the access to the weekly test. You can design sometimes your own test on certain chapters, because if you want to do untimed work, I want to do the level 2 kind of questions or level 3 kind of questions, you can design that particular test and it gives you that interface to work with those particular tests. All these options are available in the plus. Now, in addition to that, on the iconic platform, yes, you also get the one-to-one mentoring, which is a special feature. You can book the time slots with your favorite mentor, I mean, like the one who you would like to have a discussion. And yes, you can discuss either the content can be a concept, or it can be your doubts. It can be even the test analysis, how to improve the scores, or it could be even with respect to your prep calendar, study plans, or it could be even with respect to the B schools, the interviews, or it gives you those all those kind. I mean, what to do as a part of one-to-one. These are some of the things that you can kind of avail as a part of one-to-one. Yeah, so these are the subscription prices, phenomenal. And on all these nominal prices, you do get 10% discount if you use any of the educator code. You can use my educator code as well to avail the discount if you are looking at any of the subscriptions. Right, so I would prefer, if you are a CAT 21 students, I would rather recommend a iconic subscription, because that also kind of gives you to interface with the mentor one-to-one, because I think that would be more helpful in the coming 6 months until you kind of clear your interviews and make inroads into one of the top B schools. Yes, so that kind of brings us to the last slide of the announcements before we get into the lecture. Yeah, more importantly, I keep telling you that, hey, writing the mocks, especially if you are preparing for 21. So whatever the season of exam preparation season of 21, that is come next year, 22, the month of June, July, August, whatever. So you should be a part of the good B school. Ensure that you kind of consider the mocks very seriously. And one of the mocks must be written on a Sunday. That's very important. So you got to write at least 2 mocks in this month, September. You must be writing 2 full-length mocks every week on the CAT perspective, provided you are a serious CAT contender, of which one must come on a Sunday between 9 and 6, 9 in the morning and 6 in the evening. That is must. Yes, so you do get these tests in addition to the sectional test, all of this, you do get these tests free with the plus or the iconic subscription. All right, fair enough. That brings us to the end of the announcements. Who all have joined in? Give me a sense of who are all there in the meeting. It looks like my screen is kind of stuck. It's not moving. Yeah. So let me know who all are in the meeting. Yeah, who all joined in between? Who are all there in the meeting? Okay, Rishav is in. Quick, quick, quick. Can I quickly know who all are in here? Mohit is joined. Great. Okay. Who else? That's it. Only Rishav and Mohit. That's it. Only two of you. Nobody else. Who else is there? I mean, look, who else? I mean, because there seems to be about a couple of you out here, about 8, 10 of you. So who else? Kunal, you are asking how many questions from games and tournaments. There will be 5 sets. It can come from any area, right? Since last year, for example, Venn diagram dominated. I doubt whether this year there will be any Venn diagram. Depends, yeah, depends. All they have to do is 5 sets. In 5 sets, what they pick, we don't know. We should know everything. That's it. So if I am a serious contender, I should know all concepts. See, for example, time, speed, distance has so many concepts. How many questions? 2 questions. Then why you are learning 10 concepts there? If there are only 2 questions, then why we are learning all 10, 15 varieties of questions in time, speed, distance when we know that only two comes? Point is, we don't know which two comes, right? That's the whole idea there, right? Numbers has so many varieties. Say, for example, 15 to 20 categorizations is what you can do on numbers. But how many questions you get? 2 questions, right? Average is 2 questions, maybe three or maybe one. So, but then why you are learning 15 varieties then? Right? Reason being, yeah, we don't know which one is that, but I should be in a position to capacity to solve like that. See, whenever we prepare, our area is too big, but what comes there is just about 5% of what we learn. That's a reality. But which is that 5% of what we learn? We have absolutely no idea. That's a problem. That's a problem, right? So we learn 100%. What comes in the test is only that 5%. Think about your academic book. Your academic books are like no, so that you did in the school. Such a fat book, you read over 500 pages. But how many questions there? 10 questions in academics or 15 questions at the most? Then why do we read all of that? Because we don't know which is the 10 questions out there. Okay, I hope that answers Kunal's question. There is no fixed pattern. Okay, so therefore in DILR there are so many concepts. They are going to present 5 concepts at the end of the day. That's it, 5 concepts. Of which are those 5 concepts out of all these concepts? No one knows. No one knows. That's a reality. I hope that answers your question. Okay, now before I start, what I want you to do is I want you to read this case, right? I want you to read this case. Then it will give an idea about what I'm talking. So you patiently read this particular case. Start by reading because that gives you a kind of an idea. Good, I will give you maybe about 3 minutes. I don't intend you to solve, but I want you to read it. 3 minutes is a good time. 180 seconds is a good time. So take time and read these 2 paragraphs meticulously, right? All of you take time, and if there is a time further, so then read the questions as well. Just read. That sets the tone of what I am trying to tell. Then I will come back and explain and give the concept. Go ahead, everybody, take these 3 minutes. Yeah, use these 3 minutes and read. In case, all right, those who are aware, it's all right. Those who are not aware what I meant by knockout, this at least sets that expectation. Good afternoon, Prashant. Good afternoon. Yeah, okay. I'm expecting that, okay, you kind of read the set. So let me explain the set. Let me explain the set. Listen, all of you, I just wanted you to read at least the first two paragraphs. Then we will see. At the end of the understanding, it turns out to be the numbers, just like we worked out the numbers in the previous one, that is the previous concept, all right, which is a round robin concept. Ultimately, it's a number, right? Ultimately, it's a number. Same thing happens here. Ultimately, it boils down to the number. So how to work with those numbers is all it takes. In a sense, say after giving this particular sets, if these are the four question which comes here, they're very easy because like the round robins, this the reading of course takes some time because you need to understand the rules of the game. Maybe you take about 2 minutes to understand the rules of this particular game, just to understand is it all fine, so as expected, all that stuff. And maybe about 4 or 5 minutes to resolve this. About 6, 7 minutes is the good time to resolve this particular set, whatever the questions are given, because ultimately they are numbers. Numbers are small. They're not unlike some DI or whatever you have to do huge calculations, etc. Absolutely not. No, no fractions, nothing. It's all going to be nice numbers to work with, integers, natural numbers. It's very easy to work with. So first, let's understand what is this particular knockout game. Knockout game is simply people don't stand a chance if they lose one particular game, unlike earlier round robin where even if you lose a game, so you still stand a chance or to play another game. And ultimately at the end of the pool stage, I will look at who got how many points and then I will qualify them to the later stage, etc. Right here, that is not the case. So therefore, if there are young players, couple of things you will always know. If there are young players, these are the background, how the knockout formats are created. If there are young players, to decide the champion is the one who is undefeated. That champion becomes the one who is undefeated till the end. Therefore, there will be simply n minus one games. That's it. N minus one matches need to be played, or n minus one games need to be played, whichever way. Match, game, whatever is the right fit for that particular occasion, right? So there will be n minus one matches which needs to be played to decide the champion. Simple. For example, let's take example of a there are 32 players. Simple. All right. Now, if there are 32 players, 31 of them will leave this particular contention only if they lose that particular match. If they don't lose, they will not lose. They will not go out. If there are 32 players, there will be 31 matches. Why? There is always one player who would be undefeated. Rest 31 would have tasted a defeat exactly once. So therefore, there will be 31 matches. Fair enough. So now let's take this 30. Now let's take this 32, or if there are 16 players, let's say if there are 16 players, so then therefore number of matches would be how much? The number of matches would be 15 in that tournament. There would be 15 matches. Why 15 matches? I have to ensure that 15 people lose at exactly one match. If 15 people lose exactly one match, the one who remains undefeated becomes the champion, right? So that's the meaning of the knockout format. But the point here is, okay, if I take this example 6 here, let's say that there is a player number 1. There is a name. I'm writing P1, but P1 would have some name there, right? Yeah. There is a P2, there is a P3, like this. I went on to write P16, let's say. So what is all it now? So I'm saying, let's one format can be something like this. P1 beats P2. P1 plays the first match. P1 beats P2. All right. So P2 is knocked out. Now I will say P1 that now you beat P3 also. Okay, he has beaten P3. Then I will say P1 that hey, you beat P4 also. All right, now you beat P4 also. Fair enough. So P1 beats P4. So again, P4 is lost. But this is all it now. So likewise, I can't say that okay, P1 you are the strongest player, therefore all right, you beat everybody, then I will make you a champion. No, that's not the way to do it because the workload is not distributed. The sports and injury go hand in hand. If anybody is in the sports, you understand that there is no sport without injuries, right? So as the tournament progresses, players get injured. right? They get fatigue and they get injured. Two things will happen, right? Fatigue comes in, the injuries also come in. So therefore, injured player will be playing against a little bit of injured player. The fatigue player will be playing against a bit of fatigue player, because when the tournament is for 3 weeks, 2 weeks, or 3 weeks, whatever, as a course, as it progresses, you develop a little bit of fatigue. You develop a little bit of injuries. Or you get some injuries. Like a sports and injury goes hand in hand, as we all kind of know. So that's an unfair. Which means if I say that P1, you are the top seed, you are the best player, so you ensure that you beat all the 15 fellows, or at all the remaining 15 fellows, then I will crown you as the champion. That's not the way it is done. Therefore comes another concept called as the rounds. Alright, therefore they say that it's called as a fair competition. Therefore they say that, hey man, I will bring another concept called as the rounds. So what do you mean by the rounds? So rounds, alright, generally you look at the players. We generally take the players as a 2 raised to, generally we take the players as 2 raised to power x. We express the number of players as 2 raised to power x generally. For what if the number of players is not 2 raised to power x? Then there will be bias, which I will speak in the next lecture. That I will speak sometime later. What if the number of players that you decided to participate in the tournament, what if it is not 2 raised to power x? Why it should be 32? I will take 30. If you take 30, then there will be bias. Why it should be 16? I will take 13, or I will take 14, whatever, other than 2 raised to power x. Any number of players which is not a function of 2 raised to power x, there will be a concept called as bias. Okay, yeah. So now let's not talk about bias. Let's assume that, okay, I went with this particular number called as 16. How many rounds will be there? 16 is nothing but 2 raised to power 4. Therefore, there will be 4 rounds. That's what you are trying to say. 4 rounds means what? The champion of this particular tournament has to win exactly 4 matches. Which means if I take this 16 matches, P1 need not assume that P1 is the champion. So he has all the ability to become champion. He became champion. P1 has to play just 4 matches, assuming there are no buys. Nobody withdrew from the tournament. Nothing has happened. Usual situation. Everybody wants to compete. All 16 people came to compete. All that happens is P1 has to just win 4 consecutive matches. He doesn't have to win 15 matches. He doesn't have to beat 15 players. He just have to beat 4 players. Let's assume that, okay, how does this happen therefore? So what we'll do is, okay, are we connected back? There was a brief disconnection and buffering. Guys, are we connected back? There was a brief disconnection and buffering. Confirm. Somebody in the meeting, confirm quickly. Are we connected back? Yeah, I think there was a brief disconnection, yeah, which I could see. All right. Yeah, good. Yep. Fine. Beautiful. All right. So let's take a look. Let's continue this. Okay. Generally, P3 plays against P14. Notice this trend. Then finally, P8 plays against P9. So what author is also trying to say is, now I'm trying to bring in the concept of what author is also trying to say. Now this is called as the round 1 of the tournament. I've taken this sample case of 16. I'm just illustrating the sample case of 16. Then we will generalize that study and we are done with the task. Okay. Yeah. Now there is a round 1 of the tournament. Round 1, what happens? So I will not say P1 that you beat all the 15 guys. I'll say P1 you play against P6, P16, P2 you play against P15. That's a format. So where is that format explained? That format is also kind of explained here. And generally, this is the kind of a format. Let now with this paragraph, if you read this particular second paragraph, this is what is kind of explained. Therefore, I'm sticking to it because that also like serves my purpose. Yeah. And he's saying that, look, man, this is called as the match 1 of the tournament. This is match 1, which means on the schedule, this is the first match of the tournament, which will be played in this particular ground, which will be played at this particular time. That is how the schedule comes. Now they say that this is called as the match 2 of the tournament. It is played in that order, which means it is scheduled on this particular day, at this particular time, in this particular ground, which comes after match 1. That's what he mean by the match 2 of the tournament. This is designated as match 3 like this. Therefore, this is designated as match 8. So now let us focus only on P1. Let's focus only on P1 for the time being. So therefore, P1 is there. P1 has played what? 1 match and he has won. So similarly, 8 people have won. Now I am coming to the second round. Now I'm venturing into the second round. Let's assume that, so there is some word introduced called as an upset. I'm not saying this, it has been introduced in the passage. What is an upset? Well, we generally, when player 3 is playing against player 4, the expectation is, assume that the player 3, see 1, 2, 3, 4 are the ranks. Let's assume that P1, P2, P3 are the ranks, up to P16 are the ranks. P1 is the better rank. P16 is the least of all the ranks which are participating in this tournament. Let's assume. So in this case, so if P3 is supposed to beat P14, that's the expectation. Otherwise, if P14 beats P3, then we call this an upset. Assume there is no upset. I'm assumption. It's an assumption. Assume there is no upset. Then who all people have qualified? P1 qualified to the second round, P2 qualified to the second round, P3 qualified to the second round, and P8 has qualified to the second round. What is explained? What is explained is the winner of match 1 will play against the winner of match 8. It is not that P1 should play against P8. I just said that there are no upset. It all went as per ideal expected situation. What is ideally expected? The better ranked player has to beat the not so better ranked player. In the sense, P3 is supposed to be P14. Similarly, P8 is supposed to be P19. Let's start with an ideal scenario saying that there is absolutely no upset, and this is what has happened. So round 2, the input is top 8 players. So winner of the match 1 is supposed to play with winner of match 8, which means what is happening? P1 is playing against P8. Then P2 will play against P7 because winner of match 2 will play against winner of match 7. Something like this, right? So therefore P3 would play against P6 and P4 would play against P5. Now this is what happens in the second round. Whenever there are 8 players, it is termed as quarterfinal. Whenever there are 8 players shortlisted for any particular round, that particular round can also be named as quarterfinals. That's another alternative name that we can give it to it. Fine, fair enough. So again, P2 is here. He is winning his second match. Therefore, I'm saying that, okay, man. Now again, the better ranked player is winning every time. P2 won against P7, P3 win against P6, P4 win against P5. Let's assume ideal scenario. Let's create a classical case to start with. Okay. Now, top 4 players have won this particular match. Then I'm going to the round 3. Round 3 is nothing but semi-final. Round 3 can also be named as semi-final when there are only 4 contenders. How does it play? The winner of the match 1 of this particular tournament, match 1 of round 2, has to play with match 4. Or winner of the match 4. Winner of the match 4. But in this case, I put a tick saying that who has won, I'm showing it to you. So it can be P5 also who might have won. There is no problem. I'm just saying that this is what would have happened there. Okay, the winner of match 2 will play against the winner of match 3. Fine. P1 is playing against P5, P4, and P2 is playing against P3. Let's assume, okay, as usual. So P1 has won this and P2 has won this. Then they will go to the final round, that is the round 4, which we also call it as a final. So P1 would play against P2 and P1 is winning this particular match. Look at my circles. First round, he played 1 match. Second round, he played a match. Third round, he played a match. Fourth round, he played a match and remained undefeated. Till the end, this player remained undefeated. Therefore, I say that he is the champion. My point is what? Hey, there must be an equal distribution of workload or the playing load, whatever is that. So there must be an equal distribution of the load that is taken by the people. And hence we say that, hey, so you don't have to play. When you are playing the second round, everybody is playing their second match of their tournament. That's the point. If somebody says that I entered the second round. So, okay, if player number 8 says that I entered my second round, then I'm saying that player number 8 is playing his second match. Player number 1 is also playing his second match. It can't happen that player number 1 is playing his second match, whereas player number 8 is playing his first match. That is not possible. That's the meaning of the second round. Second round means everybody is playing their second match. They win or lose is a different issue. If someone says that now I'm playing I've entered my third round, so I will be playing my third round means what? Everybody will be playing their third match. For example, player number 4, where did he play this? All right, now he would have played 1 match here. Player number 4 would have played against player number 13. You are saying that you played 1 match. You played your second match. Now you are playing your third match. That's the meaning of the round there. Round ensures that there is an equal distribution of fatigue, equal distribution of injuries, distribution. So injury happened or not, fatigue occurred or not, that's a different issue. But the point is, I gave the same environment to each one of them. So that is the round concept. How do I get into the rounds? Therefore, the moment I look at this particular number, I look at this 16. 16 can be written as 2 raised to power 4. That power 4 is called as the rounds. All right, 4 rounds. What also rounds also tells you? Round also tells you that the champion has to win 4 consecutive matches. So that decides the champion. These are the basics. Therefore, if I want to generalize this, there are 3 things we spoke about so far. The bias is the 4th thing which I will not be touching today. So one aspect is what? Player, number of players, therefore number of matches in the tournament, and therefore the number of rounds. What do you mean by number of rounds? The number of matches the winner has to win, consecutive matches the winner has to win to crown the championship. If the number of players is n, let's assume that the n is also nothing but 2 raised to power x, because we're avoiding the bias for now. So n is a function of 2 raised to power x. Then the number of matches would total number of matches in the tournament will be 2 power n. The number of rounds is nothing but r. Let me write it as r. The number of rounds, all it up 2 power x, number of rounds is r. R is equivalent of this particular number x. Okay, so far any doubts? So far any doubts? This matrix is clear. This matrix is clear. This link is clear. The concept of rounds. The bias we will not talk now. That's one last parameter. There are actually 4 parameters. The bias is one last parameter. Leave that bias. It's very rare. The bias is a rare phenomena, but these 3 points are clear. How the players are linked with rounds is clear. Players and rounds is clear. Because matches is also doesn't matter. The linkage between players and rounds has to be clear. Right, very good. Very good. Yeah, now come back. Let's notice another parameter. One parameter is done. Let's remove this. Okay, this is clear. This is frozen at this stage. Now come to the rounds. Now where are the numbers? Because now I have to ultimately get to the numbers. I can't be doing this. I can't be doing 1, 2, 3, 4 because they will give 64 players, 128 players. We will not have time to write all that 64, 128, etc. So they are already governed by numbers. Okay, so let's understand this. So what are the numbers we are talking about? So let's develop the numbers by considering the ideal scenario, right? Under the ideal constraints. The numbers are this. If there are this player rank number 1, rank number 2, let's say that player number 1 is also called as ranked as number 1. Player number 16, let's assume that it is also ranked as number 16. Consider it like this. Let's consider like that. So if you look at the sum of the seats or sum of these ranks, that's a static number. If you're in the round 1, what is that static number? 17. 1 plus 16 is 17. 2 plus 15 is 17. 3 plus 14 is 17. 8 plus 9 is 17. So these numbers are important to us. We play with these numbers. That's a math. Ultimately, after understanding the basic, the next is what I need to understand the math behind this basic, the numbers behind this basics. Once I understand the numbers behind this basics, each question would take just about a minute to resolve, whatever be the nature of the question. Maybe if they want us to think a little deeper, we may end up thinking for 1.5 minutes or so on that question. Otherwise, generally it is about a minute or less than a minute to think about a question. But that number is important, 17. Let's look at the second number. Ideal scenario. Develop these numbers under the ideal constraint. What do you mean by ideal constraint? No upset. But tournament has upsets, right? Tournament has upset. What is the recently concluded tournament? I was reading some 2-3 days back ago in the newspaper. So was that US Open? Anybody following sports here? Does anyone follow sports for some time? Was the US Open, which was recently concluded, maybe, I don't know, maybe a week ago or 10 days ago, something like that? Because I was just reading some business article about that just 2 or 3 days back. Was that US Open? Just confirm someone. US Open? Yeah. I think the two of the teens or kind of teens have won. Like both the women's I'm now talking about. I'm talking about women. I think both are under 20 years, right? Something like that. That's what I read. The next generation, whatever. The business article was more to do with that. Something to do with that. So in that, like, what I noticed was, okay, both are kind of less than 20 years. Am I right? The two ladies who have reached the finals, and one who is the winner and the other one who is the runner up, right, were less than 20 years. You better remember the names. You got to remember the names, because probably already know that can be prominent and important to you guys, right? Because you guys will be taking the interviews and there will be some business cases based on that. They may ask some questions. If you say that sports is your interest, and two teens reaching like that is kind of rare and something like that. Okay, you can take note of their names as well. So as far as I remember, one was from Great Britain, I guess. So one is from Britain, the other one is from Canada, or something like that. I just remember the highlights, kind of. I don't remember the names because I quickly flashed through that. Yeah, any which ways. Okay, coming back to this. Come back to the lecture. Come back to the lecture. It just reminded me about that article that I read. Yeah, coming back to this. Hey, look at the second round. The numbers, ideal scenario. Look at the numbers. It's static. 8 plus 1, 9. 2 plus 7, 9. 3 plus 6, 9. 4 plus 5, 9. So it's a static number. This number is important. When it comes to semifinals, 1 plus 4, 5. 2 plus 3, 5. So therefore, this static number is important to me. This kind of static number is important to me. Okay, finals is not a problem. Already there's only one match. Therefore, it really doesn't make a difference to me. Should I really remember? No. But what you have to kind of remember is these numbers are static. Okay. Now, having understood this number is static. What does it mean to us? Let's now explore a little deeper. So I hope the static numbers are clear to all of you. The numbers under the ideal circumstances remains static. That is the point there. Now listen very carefully to me. Listen very carefully. So when we said team 4 has to play against team 13, so it is possible that team 13 might have won this particular game. It's possible that team 13 might have won this particular game, right? Possible, because upset might have been happened. Now I'm introducing upset. Ideal scenario is out because the life is not ideal, right? Scenario is not ideal because naturally, well, why I took that example of US Open, those two girls, because like, some of them were unranked. They were not even ranked, I guess. Right? Unranked in the sense they were not in the top 64 or whatever it is, right? They were not even there. I mean, like we call them as what is that called as wild card entry, something like that. Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure. I have not gone into those particular details where they given the wild card entry. I'm not sure because they were not in the top ranks or anything like that. But then it's something like this. So that's an upset, which means they have naturally beaten the players who were better ranked than them in that US Open championship. That's a Grand Slam. He was already in the US Open. So that can happen. Now this is an upset. Now I'm creating an upset this box. Now I'm saying that man P13 has beaten P4. Okay. If P13 has beaten P4, in place of P4 here, I am supposed to write this P13. Wherever I am supposed to write P4, I am supposed to write P13. That is my point. Okay. If P13 comes here, then wherever P4 is there, I'm putting that cross. So I am supposed to write P13 here. I'm supposed to write P13 here. This is what I should have done. So now the question comes there. Now the question comes there. Right, the question can be asked. Okay, if P1, let's assume that if P1 is playing semi-finals, P1 can play semi-finals with which all seeds? That's the possible there, right? Which of the following? Now the answer options will be there. P1, the ranked player number 1, has reached semi-finals. Which of the following players may be playing against him in the semi-finals? That could be the choice. So now you may say that, sir, P4 can be an answer. You may say that, sir, earlier P4 was there. Correct. P1 may be playing against P4. Agreed. But now I'm saying that P1 may be playing against P13 also. Alright, P1 may be playing against P13 also. That's also possible. Now let me throw up another possibility there. So when P13 reached and he was playing against P5, come to the second round, my friends. When P13 has played against P5, it is quite possible that P5 has beaten P13. Alright, it's possible that P5 has beaten P13. Therefore, alright, in place of P4, earlier you wrote P3. Listen to this sequence carefully. You need to understand. In place of P4, earlier you wrote P13. That P13 you captured here. But now I am saying that, hey, why P13 should win against P5? P5 might have been beaten P13. Then you say that, hey, instead of P13, now I can write P5 also, which means now you are saying that, hey, P5 can also be written. Now I will throw up another question to you. Why P5 should enter here first of all? So because here P5 would be playing against P12. Now I say that P12 also might have entered there. That's another possibility I'm bringing up. Therefore, I'm saying that P12 also might have played here. Now you say it looks complex, man. What are you doing with these numbers? So I'm saying that is the thing, that is the reality, because I could show all these numbers on this chart. I could show P12 is here. P12 might have beaten P5. Therefore, P5 didn't even enter here. Therefore, P13 might have played against P12. That's possible. And P12 might have beaten P13. Therefore, P12 might have come to this particular place. P1 may be playing against P12. These are the four possible players. That's a reality. Hey, is there a fifth player? No, there is no fifth player. These are the four possible players against whom P1 may be playing his semi-finals. I'm saying that P1 has reached semi-finals. Who is his opponent? His opponent can be P4. If it is an ideal scenario, it's a P4. If it is not an ideal scenario, if there were upsets, then it could be P13, it could be P5, it could be P12. Okay. Mathematically, how do I get this? That's a question now. Question is, mathematically, how do I get this? Okay, this chart was in front of me, it is fine. When the tournament has 128 teams, how do I do that? Because I'm not sure about the Grand Slam, some of the ATPs are the Grand Slam. Already now there were 128 tennis players who will be participating and playing at times. Now, if that game is given 128, will I be able to write this? No. So where the math is coming in the picture, let's examine that. All right, we need to examine. Okay, guys, are you kind of clear that P1 can play against these four fellows? That at least kind of understood? Then I will show mathematically how these numbers come. But at least kind of understood that logic is clear. Are you able to, did I kind of show it on the screen? Yeah, I did a lot of rough work here, of course. All right, it all looks shabby. All right, this whole stuff looks pretty shabby, but then kind of you followed it. despite that shabbiness. At least a ballpark figure. Yeah. All these things can happen, kind of. Even if you didn't understand all four numbers, at least some numbers you understood there. Give a confirmation. If not all numbers, at least a few numbers. Quick, yeah. Don't tell that only Mohit and Rishabh have understood. Is there anybody else in the meeting who says that, okay, I also kind of understood? Or that's it. It didn't make sense because it's a beginning of the logic. Okay, Prashant is joining the party. Anybody else? Or are you lost? That's it. Okay. So now I have to go with the confidence that only three are kind of following. Others are not able to follow. Okay. That's sad. All right. Nevertheless. Okay, Abhishek. Yeah, good. Yeah. That gives me confidence, guys. The whole idea is as a trainer, when you give some understand, when you respond from the other side, that also gives a confidence to move further. Otherwise, all right, sometimes it feels like, am I talking to people or am I talking to the board because I just have to close something? That doesn't make sense, right? Yeah. So live interactions are always healthy in the sense that also gives kind of reciprocation from both the ends that keeps kind of motivated. That's a reality. Okay, fair enough. Let's go on. Good. At least some of you understood. Now listen to me. Okay, where I am going to use this. How do I write it? I know from here, the round one, the number is 17. Now I'm going to these numbers, what I spoke about earlier. What is the number? I'm interested in this 17. Which round I am in when P1 is playing semi-finals? I spoke about semi-final. I'm here. Firstly, I'm in the semi-final. In the sense, I finished my round one. I finished my round two. Listen very carefully, all of you. I finished my round one. I finished my round two. The question is coming in the round three, semi-final. The question is coming in the round three. So what we are saying, hey, round one, round three, player one is supposed to, let player one is playing against which player in round three? Because hey, why round three? Because semi-final is round three. I am in the round three now. Round three, the question is player one could be playing against which of the following players? And there will be some answer choices. Three of them will be correct, one of them would be wrong. I need to identify which is wrong. That's the whole idea there. These four would be correct. If I any three out of these four choices would be correct. Okay. So now therefore, how do I understand that P4, P3, P5, P12 will come here? That's a question there. So again, so what you do is you first go with these numbers. Say round one, what is the number? 17. Write it out there. Round one, the number, already number is 17. Round one means sum of the seats is 17. So what to do? We will examine that. Sum of the seats is 17. Okay, what is round two? Sum of the seats is 9. That's it. You have to put these numbers in perspective. Round three, what is the sum of the seats? 5. Round three, sum of the seats is 5. I know only these numbers. Okay. So now therefore I'm developing the matrix. P1. All right. Now, so first make 5 here. Make this 5. I'm coming to the first number. Make this 5. Your job is to work with these numbers. You're a statistician now. You just have to work with these numbers. All right. Your number is 5. So P1, write P4 because 1 plus 4 is 5. You wrote this. Okay. Now go upward. From here now you start going upward. You may say, what do you mean by go upward, sir? I will tell you. So now P4 would have played against whom in the round two? Let me identify that, because why P4 should have reached? Somebody might have created an upset to this fellow. Fair enough. So let me identify this now. So P4. Therefore, you are saying that, hey, P4 has played against which particular fellow in the round two? Okay, P4 played against. I'm writing that funnel. P4 has played against. Fair enough. So what is the sum? Sum should be 9. So therefore 4 is already there. Therefore 4 plus what becomes 9? P4 might have played against P5 and P5 might have created an upset. Therefore P5 might have come down here. Possible. That is what I said here. P5 is here. Look at our matrix that we developed. P4 may be playing. That was here P4. That's what the first number that we identified. One level above, we identified that P5 also may be playing. Correct. All right. Now, therefore, we identified the second level. Now, let's go to the next level. So now the point is what? Hey, there is a round one. The upset might have happened in the round one also. Why round two? The upset should happen. P5 has won against P4. Yeah, upset might have happened in the round one also. Let me identify. What if P4 was upsetted in the first round itself? Okay, what is the number there? 17. 4 plus what is 17? That's all the number I should write. Right? 4 plus 13 is 17. Might be 13 might have created an upset here. Therefore, in place of P14, P13 might have come, might have created another upset here. Therefore, P13 might have come down. So that's what the funnel, that's a funnel structure. Basically, you can remember this as a funnel. Alright, it's because ultimately the whole diagram looks like a funnel funneling down to the funneling down to our answer. Okay, so therefore 17 you looked at it, 4 plus 13. Great. So therefore now you are trying to say that 13. I got another number here. Okay, what about this? Why P5 should have reached? Somebody might have created an upset with that fell also. 5 plus something should be 17. 17 is the going number. 5 plus what is 17? 5 plus 12 is 17. Did I get this 12 back? Yeah. Now go to the funnel, identify all different numbers in this particular funnel. You say that, hey, 12 is all it now. In fact, these are the different numbers. First row gives me all the choices. These are the possible choices. At the highest level, at the top of the funnel, the numbers you identify are the choices. You don't have to look down because all these are the derived numbers. What about the numbers you wrote down? That's derived from the top only because all of them exist at the top. Therefore, you are saying that 4 can be the number. So that's what you are saying, that hey, this 4 can be the number. Yeah, that's what you said. 13 can be the number. That's what you said. 5 can be the number. That's what you said. 12 can be the number. That's what you said. Okay, my point is funnel. Did you understand the funnel with respect to these numbers? Give me a quick understanding. Concept is over with this. Concept is over. This is the ultimate concept. They can twist this whatever they want. They can only play with this concept, twisting, twirling, all that they can do without bias. This is the concept. This is the concept of knockout. How to work with these numbers. Because ultimately, after understanding everything, I should just develop these numbers. Ultimately, the idea is to develop these numbers and work with these numbers with the funnel structure. Of course, you may say that, sir, won't there be any other type of questions? They will be there. We will see them. But this is the ultimate concept. Rest everything is an offshoot, subset of this particular concept where we just have to use our rational thinking and derive at this. But this is the concept side of it. If somebody is not knowledgeable about this, then they will be caught short. They will take unnecessarily more time to resolve the issue, underlying issue there. Okay, fine. Let's go back to the question then. Let's go back to the questions. Having understood this, okay, concepts are clear. Let's now go back to the question. Hey, what is in this particular question? 64. Let us see. How many people, how many players participate in US Open Grand Slams generally? Is there a number? There are 4 Grand Slams, as far as I understand. I think it starts in Australia and ends in US, because the US, I think, is the last summer. Summer starts in Australia first, then we'll go to US. Therefore, I think if you just follow the global calendar, I think it should go in that particular order. I think the US Open is the last one. Anybody into the sports, guys, you will be able to answer this. I'm just going by geography. Australia comes first, US is the last in the cycle, basically geographical cycle, I'm saying. Therefore, the Grand Slams also will shift in that particular fashion, more or less. So therefore, at least the ends are decided. I'm not sure about the French Open and the Wimbledon, right? These are the another 2 Grand Slams out of 4 Grand Slams. Guys, nobody into sports, everybody like me here. Everybody who is trying to follow me are just like me, least bothered about sports or least interested in sports, except some statistics. Yeah. Okay. How many players in each of these Grand Slams? I was just trying to understand. Is it 32 or 64? What is it like? Is this number? I'm just trying to understand this French Open men's number is 64. Is it 64 or more or less? I was just trying to understand, which means is it correct correlation? I don't know. This is just a number. Yeah, it can be all it now. Generally, of course, all these opens will be 2 power n. That's for sure. Anybody aware that how many players? Even I think 128. I'm not sure, right? So I'm not sure. You may have to look at the format. Only then you will be able to understand this. How many rounds that they play. Okay, let's come back to this. It's fine. Okay, now don't try to Google and take help of Google Mata. All that. That's not required. You figure that out later. If you're a sport enthusiast, you should know. You should know. You can't say that. Okay, I don't know about it. You must know how many players. How many players are actually given the invitation. That you must know, right? For men, for women, for doubles, all of that. All right, now you should kind of know. Great, all right. So somebody logged in as Jack. Is that your name or you logged in as a nickname, Mr. Jack? Now with these kind of nicknames, it's difficult to make out already even if it is Mr. or Miss also, right? So if it is okay, you can put your name there. That would be better. Okay, fair enough. Come back to the discussion. We are losing time. Come back to the discussion. Let's quickly understand this. Okay. So 64 players, the story is there. So I am hoping that all of you read the story. I'm not going to take you through this story again and again and again. It's a simple story. 64 and whatever we did, all it now those were that's the background to that particular story. Let me quickly illustrate this particular story. Okay, 64 players. Right? 64 players. So seed is nothing but the rank. All right, now he used the word, one technical word here called as seed. All right, seed is, you can simply say that seed is nothing but rank one. Ranked number one. I think in the tennis language they call it as a seed, seeded as one. Therefore, naturally, rank 1 is the best rank 64 is the worst rank, all of that. Okay, therefore, 64 players. Now I am interested how many rounds, therefore. Therefore, the question comes as how many rounds. The number of rounds is nothing. I will express the 64 as 2 raised to power 6. And then I say that, man, there are 6 rounds here. There are 6 rounds. In fact, that was given. All right, that was given to us in the passage. Nevertheless, all right, what if even if that was not given? All right, so I can even figure that out. That should also not be a problem. Fair enough. There are 6 rounds. What do you mean by 6 rounds? Say there is a round 1, there is a round 2, there is a round 3. I'm creating a framework because this is important to me, right? There is a round 3, there is a round 4, which becomes quarterfinals, because all right, by the time you go to see what is the input to round 1, 64 players, 64 input. I'm writing input. Don't confuse the words. Input. All right, how many people will participate in round 1? 64 fellows will be participating. What is the input here? 32. Hey, what is the input here? Right, already input to this particular round, half of them 16, because half get eliminated when there are 32 players. So naturally there will be 16 matches, half of them get eliminated there, right? Yeah, similarly 16. What is the input? 8. Whenever input becomes 8, it is called as a quarterfinal, right? Input 8 is the, see, some people may say that, sir, I will call this as pre-quarterfinal. Please call them whatever you want to call them. Just sometimes these words are important because in the exam they use the word quarterfinals. I have not seen people using the word pre-quarterfinal. From that perspective, I should know, because in the exit question, see, if you look at this question, suddenly they use the word quarterfinal. I should not, I should at least understand quarterfinal means what? The input to that round is 8, which means number of matches are 4, right? Number of matches are 4, input is 8. Fair enough. So then round 5, the input is 4, which is called as semi-final. There is a final round 6. The input is 2, or 2 players are the input, which is called as a final. Fair enough. So from quarterfinals onwards, the name should be familiar. The input decides that name. So input is 8, that is when it becomes a quarterfinal. Otherwise, it is not. Semi-final, the input players has to be 4. So which are these 4 players? That depends. All that depends on who has qualified to that level. Okay, now this is the framework, right? We are ready with the framework. Now let's understand on this particular, let me write it with some gap, because I will work here itself. I will work here itself. Round 3. Let me spread it out. This is the input. Yeah, listen, all right, then I'm interested in some ideal sum. I just call it as the indicative number. I will write it as sum. You may wonder, why do you call it as a sum? So how the match is played, guys, here? The seed number one would play against seed number 64. Yeah, what is the sum of the seeds? 1 plus 64, which becomes 65. Now this number is important. What I'm writing in the blue color is very, very important for us to solve this, right? Yeah, so that is 65. Virat Roy, please repeat this topic. Please repeat this topic. Please watch it from the beginning, Virat. Simple solution. What do you mean by repeat this topic? Right? Please watch this video from the beginning. And there is a simple solution to this. Yeah. Advantage of live is if you get a doubt, you can ask. Right? Yeah. But if you're saying that already 40 minutes, 45 minutes of my lecture is done, so no need to repeat. The best way is watch it again and then put that in the comment. If you have a doubt, put it in the comment. If it is a short one, I will come back and address it in the next video or whatever it is. Okay, yeah, whichever way that is best possible. 65. Similarly, round 2, or at seed number 1, ideal scenario, assuming no upsets. Right, seed number 1 would be playing against seed number 32, because 32 people are there. Seed number 1 to 32, take an ideal scenario, just like we decided. 1 plus 32 is how much? 33. By now you would have understood that, hey, if the input is 32, then the sum is 33. If the input is 16, the sum is 17. Ideal sum, because these numbers are important to us. The input is 8, then the sum is 9. Input is 4, the sum is 5. Input is 2, the sum is 3. Only the last one doesn't really matter. Any which case doesn't matter. We can always write that particular portion. This is how my sum will look like. Now let me go to the question. Having ready, which means I'm ready with my framework. I know how many rounds. I know already now what is the sum. Hey, is this input important? Input is not important. Just I told you that from the input you can actually write the sum. You can think of that particular sum easily. Input plus 1 becomes the sum of the seats that is expected there, because this column is important. This column is what we were trying to establish. Once this is established, questions really doesn't make much difference. Let's understand. Let's go to the first question. Read it with me meticulously. Guys, this framework is clear. because this is all ultimately I was teaching for the last 40 minutes. Idea was to bring you down to this. The moment any question is given, this is the framework that I should be ready with. How long it will take? 30 seconds in your mind? Because you read it and you're ready with the framework, but to teach it takes 40 minutes, right? To establish to this 30 seconds of framework, it requires 40 minutes. That's the difference. Just like a swimming. After swimming, it hardly takes any time to swim from point X to point Y, but learning swimming is a huge process, right? Yeah, painful process. Fair enough. Let's go in here. Now let's understand the questions. If it is known that the player seeded third, player seeded three, in fact, all right, the word should be three. Player seeded three was upset in the third round. All right, player seeded three was upset. All right, now so was upset in the third round. So which of the following is definitely not the seeding of the player who upset him? Right, so it is given that if it is known that the player seeded three, third player, right, the third was upset in the third round, which means somebody created an upset with the player seeded three, which means player seeded three was in the third round. Now the point is, who would have created this upset? That is the question here. Then all right, no, he got created an upset in the third round. Point is, who has beaten this fellow? Let's go to third round now. Let's go to third round now. So I'm writing the seed three. Seed three means rank three. Seed three is supposed to play against which particular fellow? First, let me establish that. All right, first let me establish that seed three has to play against which particular fellow? Sum should be 17. So therefore, seed three is supposed to play against seed 14, which means 14 can create an upset, right? But the point is, which of the following is definitely not, which means everybody is except one fellow, which means out of these four answer options here, three of them are correct, one is wrong. I don't know which is wrong. I don't know which is wrong. I'm saying three of them are correct, one of them is wrong. Oh, where do I get that? Go to this level, establish the numbers in this level, then everything you will know by the time. Okay, so 14 might have created an upset, or what if 14 didn't reach this level? Chances are that 14 itself didn't reach, somebody created an upset with this 14 already. Fair enough, let's establish there. So therefore 14 plus something should become 33, right? So therefore what is that particular number? 14 might have played against 19, possible, and 19 might have created an upset and reached this particular place. Yeah, okay, then the next one, say what about why 18, Rishabh? It should be 19, right? Okay. So next level, probably already it could be even established in the next level, possibly. Okay. So what is the sum in the next level? Expected 65. Okay. There is a seed number 14. 14 plus something should become some plus something should become 65. Okay. What is that 14 plus something which becomes 55? 51, right? 51. Okay, that's one way. So other way around, okay, 19 also might have created an up, 19 also might not have reached the next round. Somebody might have already created an upset with this fellow. Let's identify then who might have created this upset with this particular fellow. It could be seed number 46. Okay, therefore I got this number upward on the top of my pyramid, top of my, all right, no, pyramid has to be reversed, it's a funnel, all right, top of the funnel. Which are the four numbers? It might be 14 who could have come to this particular stage, possible. No, no, no. 15 might have come down to this particular stage and beaten the seed 3. It can be 19 who might have emerged to this particular stage, or it could be 46 who might have come. So I will carry the numbers 14, 15, 19, 46 are fine with me. Okay, 46 is there, so therefore that's not my answer. 19 is here, 19 is here, and 19 is there. That cannot be my answer. 51 is here, therefore 51 is here. That cannot be my answer. Therefore 43 is my answer, because 43 is not there in this list, right? In this list, I don't have 43. Seed number 43 doesn't exist in this list. Therefore 43 is my answer. Did you understand this? How to work? Very, very easy. Understood? Understood how to work with these questions? Quick, quick. Divyan should take that counseling later. 73%, therefore it has many implications. What is your ambition? Based on ambition, then we have to dig deep into other issues, right? So simply saying that I have 73 in 12th, will it bother? Don't bother. It depends on which college, because every college has its criteria. We have to go that way. All right. Yeah. We have to go that way. IPMAT, yeah, it depends. It depends. It depends. You have to score really well to offset it. Again, you have to go by the weightage. How much weightage for the 12th standard, right? Okay. Fair enough. So I will not get into this counseling because it's not a counseling session. Counseling, we will take it up at a later stage, right? This is a lecture, right? Let's not mix up counseling with this. Short counseling, yes. Now you keep asking me question after question, then it becomes a counseling session here, right? Yeah. So let's not make it a counseling session. Let's keep counseling separate. from this. Maybe towards the end, if I have a couple of minutes more, I will definitely, you can type in, we can do that. Okay, yeah, but these are deeper counseling sessions which decides the future of you. You better set up the meetings to decide these things. Don't go by superficial information on these things. It's a research based information what is required on these things, right? Let's be very, very clear. Some things are research based. Simply you ask something and somebody said something, and based on that you made your plans, which will simply collapse at the end of the year. That's not the way you do it. Counseling is always deeper. It's always research oriented. Counseling is much, much research oriented. You guys need to understand this. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Okay, why don't you guys solve the question number 2? Go ahead, friends. Solve question number 2. All of you solve question number 2. The matrix is right in front of you. It's in front of your eyes. Work with that matrix and give me the answer. Yeah, matrix is there. Already we established the matrix. Matrix is ready. I solved one question for you. And you all said that you understood. Therefore, go to next question and answer this question. Okay, 1 minute from now. I already gave 1 minute. I'll give additional 1 minute. Solve it. It shouldn't take much time. Numbers are right in front of you. Use the numbers. What happened? Where you got stuck? Okay, let's come back. Listen, guys. Listen. Okay, so where is that? Okay, you are saying that if it is known that the player seed at 13, rank 13 has reached the quarterfinals. Okay, then which of the following could be playing against this particular player? Who can be his opponent? It's not the negative word. Already earlier was not. Who is not playing? This is the positive word. Who could be playing against this fellow? First of all, let's come here. This is our quarterfinal matrix. Let's go to quarterfinal matrix. This is quarterfinal. Quarterfinals, okay, the first problem starts is only 8 fellows are there. From where the 13th fellow has come, right? So basically, point is top 8 seats will be here. Ideal scenario, the top 8 seats would be here. But I am saying that, hey, top 13th seat has already reached. So that's where the problem starts. That's the first problem, right? Because I'm doing the level 2 question. First level was that seed was already there. Here I'm saying that that's not there. Fair enough. Then where was he? Go there first, find out. First, find out where was he before you doing that. In this 16, the 13 is there. It is there. Then go there first. Go there. You first find out, then bring him down here. Bring him down here. He wasn't there here. You are saying that, sir, 13 is not here because only top 8 seats are here. 13 is not here. Fair enough. If he is not here, identify what is the last stage he appeared. You may say that, hey, 13 is here also, sir. Okay. 13 is here also, correct? 13 is here also. What do you mean? Okay, S60 already in the 16, 13 is always a part of this particular 16. So you are saying that 13 is a part of this journey. Very good. If 13 is a part of that particular journey, start here. Don't start on the top and complicate it. What is the earliest? Just closer to this. What is closer to this here? 13. Okay, seed number 13 is here. 13 should play against whom so that it becomes 17. 13 should play against 4. So 4, which means if there was no upset in the previous round, 4 was supposed to be here, assuming that there was no upset. So it is not 13 who was supposed to be here. It is 4 who is supposed to be here. 4 is supposed to be here. Now, take this 4 to start with. Take this 4. Hey, so sum of the seeds should be how much? 9. If sum of the seeds has to be 9, 4 should be playing against whom? 4 should be playing against 5. But what happened? 4 did not reach this stage because 13 has beaten, because unless 13 has beaten 4, he can't reach this particular stage. At least he should have beaten. He should have beaten, or whatever is that, right? 13 has reached. Therefore, in place of 4, I can write this 13. That is what I will do. Now I'll say that, okay, when you said 13 to me, or let 13 to me, my ideal number for 13 was 4. 4 and 5 is what I was considering. How did I do? I first did the backward integration. I looked at this 8. I said that, hey man, in this 8, 13 is not there. What is the last occurrence of 13? You figured out that the last occurrence of 13 was here. Right, this was the last occurrence of 13, so therefore you said that 13. So sum has to be 17, therefore 13 should have played against whom? You said that 13 should have played against 4. Now pick up this 4 and write it here to start with. You say that, okay, so now out of this 8, 4 can be a part of this 8, therefore you said 4 would be playing against whom? You said that 4 could be playing against 5, but the point is, if 4 is not here, 4 cannot, because 13 has already reached the particular round, and hence you say that I will be writing 13 here in place of this. So far it is good. So far it is good. That is the first step, because now I have to identify against whom he is playing, right? One of the players could be seed 5, but so far did you understand how to establish a number if it is not a part of that round? Because we said that S13, 13th player, you understand from this 8 that 13 is not there, but you need to first establish it there, or as if it is there. You need to establish that. That is the next level. Next level is to establish that number through our ideal situation. Guys, other than Rishav and Prashant, confirm. Understood how to establish that number which doesn't exist in that round. Idea is to establish that number in that round. Very good. Mohit has joined 3. Is there a 4th person there? Anybody can join as the 4th or 5th. That gives me some better confidence. Okay. All right, Abhishek. Yeah. Good. Oh, there is one Abhiket also. Is it okay? Abhishek and Abhiket. All right, welcome. Abhiket. I didn't see you in my previous lectures, Mr. Abhiket. I didn't see your name in my previous lecture. Abhishek, I think, looks familiar, bit familiar, but Abhiket, I think I didn't see you. Anyways, yeah, let's come back to this. Okay, now what? Funnel for what? S5? Funnel for S5? Because S5 might be playing. S5 might be playing, but why S5? All right, no, so let me take a look at the answer option. All right, no, S5, S5, S5. No, S5 not there. Go up. All right, if S5 is not there, I will go one level up. I will figure it out, because S5 also, all right, somebody might have created an upset with this fellow as well. Right, yeah. Okay, okay, Abhikhet, fine. Then my bad, my bad. I don't remember, my bad. Okay, so number should be what? 17. 5 plus something should become 17. Okay, 5 plus what is 17? Or at 5 plus 12 is 17. I'll quickly come back and have an eye on my answer option, because I don't have to develop the full funnel, because the question is who might be playing. The moment I get that number, I will stop. So what is the number? Second number, you got 12. I will quickly check the rate. 12 is there. No, 12 is not there. Then go up once again. Go up once again. Try and identify. Which means what I'm trying is, in the exam, have an eye on the answer option. Don't take your eye off the answer options. Don't be so busy doing that with having a blind eye towards the answer options. If there are answer options, have an eye towards answer option. And oh yeah, this box has come, this has come with the box. Then you don't have a choice. Right now, they cannot give a box for a could be kind of questions. Which of the following could be? The box cannot come. There must be an answer option for a possibility kind of questions. This kind of possibilities. Okay, next level, S5. Yes, 5, well, sum should become 33. All right, sum should become 33. Therefore, what's the number here? 28. Okay. All right, 28 is also not there in my choice. Last, all right, now, so I'll come to the other side. Therefore, okay, 12. So if this is 12, what is the number on the number on the other side? It should be 21. Why? Because 12 plus something should become 33. It's 21. I guess 21 was there in the choice. All right, choice B was there, which is nothing but our answer. Okay, are you following this now? Did you learn the variations in these two questions? These are the two variations that can happen. What is the variation? Sometimes in the round they mention a number which might not exist. For example, round 4, you expect top 8 players to be there, but they say that some 13th player has come there, somebody else has come there. Then you got to establish the reality how to do that. These are the only two kinds of numbers that you may have to work with. Once you have the ideal situation, ultimately it boils down to these two kind of problems on this number based. Comfortable? All comfortable? Right? Okay. All right, fine. Let's now go to the third question. Let's go to the third question. You answer this fast. Okay, we are running out of time. I really want you guys to answer this fast. A minute. Because now you understood the full game. Matrix is in front of you. Right? There is a matrix. And there is a question. Go ahead. Question 3. Okay, all right, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this together. What's the question saying here? Well, if there are no upset in the first two rounds, fair enough. If there are no upset in the first two rounds, the input to the round 3 is same. First two rounds, there are no upset, which means this input is intact. What is the input? 16. Top 16 players are there in the round 3. Input is clear here at this stage. Right at this stage, right? Okay, top input is this. Top 16 players are right out here. Top 16 players. Now I'm coming from round 3 onwards. Now listen to me. Round 3 onwards, I want the lowest seeded player. Not the best number, the worst number. All it rank wise. Lowest seeded player I want. Therefore, what I do, what happens in the round 3? Seed 1 would be playing against seed 16. Let me write it. All right, as a matter of fact, let me write it so that things will be pretty clear there. The first point is what? Input to the round 3 is 16. There is no change in that number. Input to the round 3 is 16. Absolutely no change. Why? Because there are no upsets in the first two rounds, which means input to round 3, I know. What I know? Input to round 3, I know. Okay, so now what happens in the round 3? 1 should play against 16. 2 should play against 15. Let me write all of them, right? Yeah, let me write 116 like that. Okay, yes, not required. You understand these are the ranks. One has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There would be 16 teams. 8 matches would be there. Here would be seed 9, seed 10, 11, all of that, right? Yeah, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 6. All right, so this is what it kind of looks like. This is what happens. Now I will say that upset. Why everybody created one upset? Everybody created an upset. Why? Because anyway, I want the lowest seed. If you want the lowest seed, why you want to keep the better seeds? Create that upset as soon as possible. Now don't say that, hey, sir, I will not create any upset in this round. Then the next round there will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Better seeds will be playing the game. Right? These better fellows will be playing the game. Don't make better fellows play the game. Create that upset. Okay. So which means by now seed number 16 has already created one upset. Seed number 15 has already created one upset. Seed number 3 has created, 14 has created an upset. Everybody has created an upset. The question is, no more upsets now, which means the winner, the champion of this particular tournament will create only one upset. That's what is given. Exactly one upset. Who? The champion creates only one upset. Okay. What about others? Others, your wish. Let them create as many upsets as possible. But the champion of this tournament is going to create only one upset. Author is very, very clear about it. Okay. How does the next round look like? Let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at that so that your concept will be illustrated clearly. How does the next round look like? Here, 16 plays, 16 will be playing against 9. 9 and 16 will be playing a match. This with this will be playing a match. What do you mean? 10 would be playing against 15. Right? 14 would be playing against 11. Like this. Okay, 11, 12. Right? So 13 here and 14. They've already created one upset, right? But the winner should not create any more upsets. That's the whole idea here. The winner should not create any upset. Let's assume like this. 16 again creates an upset. 16 creates an upset, but 16 now cannot become my answer. Hey, why 16 cannot become my answer? Because he is creating the second upset now. If he is creating the second upset, that cannot be my answer. Assume that 15 also created an upset, which means 15 is creating his second upset. Therefore, will 15 become my answer? Absolutely not. Okay. 14 has created an upset. Let's say that, hey, okay, second upset, which means 14 is creating his second upset. Therefore, will that become my answer? That won't become my answer because now 16 is creating the second upset. He already created the first upset here and he's creating his second upset there. All right, therefore, all right, that won't become my answer. Fair enough. So all it is, and hence 12 is not creating an upset. 12 does not create an upset. So therefore 12 created only one upset. No more upset here. He has beaten 13 there. Now look, what is the input to round 5? Hey, what is the input to round 5? Seed 16, seed 15, seed 14 and seed 12. And assume that here after 12 goes on to beat the fellows because 12 is the best seed here. And assume that no more upset, 12 goes on to beat all these fellows. Therefore the answer is 12. Therefore, the answer is 12. Are you getting this? Are you getting this? Because 16 has already created the second upset. When 16 plays against 9, 16 creates his second upset. And I don't want the player who creates second upset as my answer. It's very clear. All right, now I want the champion to create only one upset. And what can be the worst rank of that fellow? The worst rank of that fellow is 12. Worst, because I can again create this round 5. I can say that 12 plays against 15, 14 plays against this, and 12 wins this match, and somebody 14 wins this match. Therefore, the round 6 final, 12 will be playing against 14, and 12 wins this match because every other rank is inferior to him. Therefore, 12 wins this. I hope, are you nailing this down? Are you getting this? You have to understand the question also carefully. The champion creates only one upset. Champion is seed number 12. He created only one upset while winning against team number 5. This is the only upset. I'm boxing this. This is the only one upset created by champion. Others have created more than one upset. You should understand question carefully. Champion should create one upset. What about others? Others can create any number of upsets. Others can create any number of upsets. Guys, are you following this? Are you following this? Clear? Mohit, it is not 16, it is rank 12. Because rank 16 would have created 2 upset because he has to beat 9 also there, right? So therefore that fellow cannot be my answer. If anybody is beating 2 times, they can't be my answer. The champion has to create only one upset. And that is nothing but seed number 12. He created only one upset. He has beaten seed 5. That is the only upset he created. Alright, if somebody creates a second upset, they will not qualify as the answer. Answer is 12, yeah. This is the 12. 12 is the answer. 9 can be, but is it the lowest? Answer the question. Lowest, right? Lowest seed we are talking about. Answer that. 9 can be. I didn't deny that 9 cannot be. But 9 is not the answer. Right? 9 cannot be. 9 can be. But is that the answer? Answer is lowest. 12 is lowest. 9 is not the lowest. Alright, that's how they catch us. After having understood all of this, they will check how well we can think. Right? They will check. Right? Okay, I hope all of you are following this. Okay, the fourth one, I'm leaving it to you. That's the homework, right? Fourth question, I'm leaving it to you. So that is the homework. Answer is B. You figure that out, right? It's a very simple question. After doing the third question, all right, this becomes the easy question. So choice is B. Logic, you find out. It's very, very simple. You can find that logic from here. I can explain, but I'm saying that, okay, you find out. All right, you find that out. It is pretty obvious and clear from this particular chart itself. From this chart, from the input side, you can figure that out. Just focus on the input side. In 5 seconds, you will get the answer. Right? Okay. All right. That brings us to the end of the lecture. So what is coming up? All right. Tonight, we will be doing the numbers. We will be doing the numbers. We'll figure out how to find the last 2 digits of an exponential number. For example, if there is a number, if there is a 46 raised to power 46, what are the last 2 digits of this number? Which means what is the units place and what is the tens place of the number? What are the tools that we have? What kind of tools we need to develop so that we can answer these kind of questions in less than a minute? People can say 30 seconds, all that stuff, whatever be it, 30 seconds or 60 seconds, whatever. General ideal time should be about a minute's time. How do we do that is what we are going to discuss tonight. Okay, yeah. And yeah, that's for tonight. And if you want to understand something about tomorrow, I think tomorrow afternoon I will not be doing a lecture. At 2, I won't be doing a lecture. I will be doing a little an alternative time. I will let you know the timing. I will let you know the timing. In tonight's lecture, I will let you know. We will do games and tournament, but we will do it at a different timing. Let's do it at a different timing. And if you have liked the content that we are discussing, you are learning something from the content that you are doing it, always like the button. Be it online, offline, doesn't matter. If you liked it, you got benefited by it, always like it before you do there. All right, that will do good for both of us. Okay, and then share the link with others as well. So if there are anybody in your friend circle, those who are also appearing, let them also do it. Let them also get benefited. Let them also do that. Yeah, there are a couple of new batches which are launched off late. That's on 15. There are a few batches which are launched. And yes, there are some batches which are set to launch. That's tomorrow, 18th. You can take a look at these offerings. And there will be a short video which will be put. You can listen to that particular video, what they are going to cover, what is the objectives of this particular course. Every course comes with a course coverage. There will be a short 1-minute video on that. So watch out that particular video. That will give an idea about what exactly are the benefits of that particular course. And then you can take up that particular course. I mean, you can attend that particular course. You can say that, okay, will it help you to attend that course, etc. That's how you kind of do that. Okay, and if you have not taken the Mega Combat, ensure that you write it this particular weekend, that is on Sunday, because there is a good likely chance. So generally they offer scholarship to top 200 students, but I think this week it is 500 students. The probability is much, much higher. So, and you have 100% to 25% scholarships. Try your luck out. Try it out, because it is about a 60 minutes paper. It doesn't take much time. 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. is all the time it takes, and you can register for it. While registering, you have to ask for a code, and if you don't, you can use my educator code as well. All right, great. That brings me to the end of this particular lecture. Any questions here, you can post it. I will wait for 30 seconds or so. If there are a couple of questions, let me quickly know if there is something to be done. Otherwise, we can regroup tonight at 10. We can regroup at 10. If there is a question, you can post. Nothing, then we are done. That's all right. Okay, fine then. All right, no questions. If there are questions, you can do it offline as well. Okay, I'll take leave of you guys. Stay blessed. I will see you guys at 10 in the night. Bye till then.